Hi everybody. How's everybody doing today? Whew. So, this is a video request for sciatic nerve stretches. And so, by the way, I've gotten a lot of views for my YouTube channel. I think right now I have 12 subscribers, so it's just pretty cool. I feel popular. So sciatic nerve, it's a great topic, and thank you for your request. In addition, if you want any requests or any topics that you're kind of wondering about, I've also gotten some other requests about back exercises and arm exercises and you know, hamstring stretches, things like that. So pipe in, let me know. You guys should have my information by now, and then I'll kind of go down the list, and hopefully it's informative to you guys. So sciatic nerve, I had to do a little bit of research on it. So this book, it's a Netter book. It's a very popular book for medical students, anatomy and physiology students, things like that. So I always refer back to it, which is good, because you know, it helps me kind of stay on track, making sure that you guys know or have proper information, so that you can be informed and what I'm saying is legit. So, fun fact, actually drew, this has nothing to do with sciatic nerve, but it's the flow of blood into the heart. So I'm not sure when this drawing, there's no date or anything, but we had to learn the flow of blood to the heart. So one thing for me is I have to kind of recreate it in my head so I can understand it and actually teach myself over again without looking at a book. So that was kind of a fun little fact. So I've made some notes here for sciatic nerve. And so the sciatic nerve actually branches out from your spinal column. So here's a little picture. Let's see if I can get y'all to see this. Yeah, I guess you can see it. So here's the spinal column here, and then this is your hips here, and it kind of branches off right through there. Can y'all see? Yep. So if you notice, if this person is sitting down, which means that their leg is flexed anteriorly forward, they're sitting on their sciatic nerve. So one thing that I've gotten, you know, complaints from my clients is that, hey, the back of my leg hurt. I've been sitting in a car for a long period of time, or even like a sit down job, which most people do. It hurts on the back of my leg, like on the hamstrings. So part of the reason is you've been sitting on it. You're squishing that nerve. So your sit bone is, and your glute is kind of sitting on it. So here's another little picture that I was able to pull up for the sciatic nerve. So I have a lot of notes here. So here's your glute. Actually that one is gluteus medius. And then you have your gluteus minimus underneath that. So if you peel the gluteus medius, you'll find the gluteus minimus. And check it out. Good old piriformis muscle, which is a hip rotator cuff. And check out where sciatic nerve lies. Okay, so it's that little nerve there. And notice also it's a huge nerve that feeds your entire leg. So it's a very, very important nerve. So here's another picture of that, a bigger picture. Let's see. There you go. So again, your glute muscles, piriformis, and then look, your sciatic nerve, and then there it goes. So notice it feeds down to your leg, and here's a broader picture. See how long it is? So from this picture, it's actually this one. Let's see, making sure I'm showing you the right one. Yep. So this is your sacrum here. There you go. Yeah, there you go. So sacrum up here, which is your tailbone, otherwise called as your tailbone, comes down, sciatic nerve, right through here, and then it comes down all the way the posterior side of your hamstrings. So your hamstring is actually peeled off right through here. So semitendinosus, semimembranosus, bicep femoris, all those hamstring muscles. And then look, it comes down. And so we're right now, this is the back of your knee, popliteal area. And then it branches out, and it sort of branches out like so. So a lot of the nerves are actually, I guess, little tubes that of course supply your muscles with nutrition and also information from your brain. Let's say, you know, if I think about wiggling my toes, then, you know, the nerve kind of sends that signal to that toe and says, hey, wiggle. So, and of course, you know, the nerves are also blood supply and all that stuff. So, but anyway, so with that being said, there are several things that you can do for sciatic nerve. So what happens is, so all along your spine, and then remember it branches off. So sacrum is right here. So it branches off to your hips, and then it comes down to the back part of your leg, into actually your sacrum, and then it goes down to along the side, or underneath actually, the piriformis muscles, and then it goes along the side of your hamstrings, underneath the semimembranosus, semitendinosus, bicep femoris, all those hamstring muscles. So, and then it branches out, I believe, around the popliteal area, the back of your knee, and then it kind of branches out, and they become the same nerve, but they call it, I think it's tibial. Let's see. I think one of the tibial nerve, which is the big part of the lower part of your nerve, and then fibular nerve, and then it goes in your foot. So what happens along those lines is it gets caught, there's an obstruction somewhere along the line. So think of it as like little highways, and then it branches off in different areas. And what happens is it gets caught or it gets impinged. So when a nerve gets impinged, so think of, let me see if I can explain this a little bit better. So here is a little TheraBand that I have. So what happens is sometimes that nerve gets caught in something, and when you, let's say, extend your leg, then it doesn't straighten out like it should. Does that make sense? So what we're trying to do with these stretches is to kind of pull and tug and pull and tug, so that wherever it's pulled from, it gets loose, and then you have the whole range of the nerve. So I don't know if that makes sense, but pipe in if you're like, I don't know what you're talking about. So we'll do these stretches. It's actually better if somebody helps you with the stretch, because you have kind of this protective mechanism in your body that prevents you from putting further pain to yourself, and then so then you have to back off. So but if somebody else is doing it, then they can go a little bit further if they know what they're doing. A little bit further, kind of like past your comfort zone, and kind of help you release that nerve. So a lot of this it looks like a hamstring stretch, and it is, because remember, the nerve goes along your hamstrings and then also piriformis area, so a lot of your rotators. So I'm going to show you, let's see, three different stretches. One of them kind of has 3 parts, so and to kind of help you. So the first one is a piriformis stretch. So remember, it's a hip rotators. Let's see, with this picture, so it's this big muscle right here. So there's the ball of your femur, and then it attaches there and it goes up to your sacrum there. So it's a piriformis stretch, hip rotators. And remember, with these stretch, instead of 20-30 seconds, I recommend about a minute to kind of help you. And again, with any stretch, make sure that you're warm. So I actually just did a kind of a video FaceTime session with one of my clients earlier, so I'm pretty warm. And so you don't want to do it cold, because what happens is your muscles actually are not loose. They're not warm enough. So if you think about, warm things, they're usually, they're more pliable. Same thing with your muscles. They're a lot better to stretch out. So I need to stop saying a lot. So sorry. So anyway, so let's do it. So let's see. Can you see me here? Hopefully you can see me. All right. So with this stretch, just kind of make sure that you have a yoga mat. So let's start out with this right leg. So remember that piriformis stretch is your sacrum, and then the ball of my femur is right here. So we're trying to stretch out, from here to here. So simply make a fist with your fingers, and you're going to kind of pull. So this is my right knee rather. You're going to pull that right knee to your left shoulder. So instead of knee to your chest, you're going to kind of do it at a little bit of a rotations here. So you want to make sure that you have a tight grip, and then I can already feel that stretch all along from the ball of my femur all the way down to my sacrum. So again, this is that piriformis hip rotator stretch that you can use. And so notice that my left knee was bent. So just make sure you keep everything nice and straight, shoulders down, anchored to the ground. Your neck is also down to the ground. And of course, you're going to do it on the other side. And this time, left knee to the right shoulder. And I'm really feeling it a little bit more on this side. So I had ACL reconstruction on my left leg, and about 6 years ago, and that usually affects with any surgeries, it usually affects above. So this time, so the ACL is here, so it usually affects above, which is the hip, and then below. With this leg, my calf is tighter, my hip is also tighter because of that ACL reconstruction. And so when I do a stretch, I always feel it a lot more on this left side due to that. Okay, so pull, nice tight grip, and again for one minute. So that's one. I'm going to show you a variation of it with kind of like in a plank position. So this is a pigeon pose. I'm going to move this down just a tiny bit so you can kind of see me a little bit better. So pigeon pose, it does the same thing. So I would say it's a little bit more advanced compared to the one on your back, because some people can't really get into the stretch as much. If you have any restrictions, tightness, sometimes if you're overweight, it's a little harder to get into the stretch. But it's easier for me to teach it this way. So I'm stretching this right side. All right. So I'm facing you, and watch. I'm gonna So keep this knee here, and then you're just gonna straighten this left leg. So like in the plank or push-up position, okay? So you're gonna come here, rotate, and so that gets me into the position there. So if you can feel the stretch here, that's fine. If you want a little bit deeper, you can come down. So this is a fairly easy stretch for me, right? And so to make it a little harder, you're gonna try to get your shin parallel to the top of your mat. So I'm gonna go a little bit further and then straighten this left leg and then elbows to the ground. So I can already feel this stretch here. Again, 1 minute on this one I would suggest. And of course, do it on the other side. Okay. All right, so this little Z position with my legs, and then straighten the right one this time and go into a plank position, elbows down. So with this one, it's my left side, so I can feel it a little bit more. Again, for 1 minute, okay? All right, so this next one, last one, has 3 parts. And usually it's done with a yoga strap. So I don't have a yoga strap, but I modified it and I use a belt. So it does the same thing, same purpose. So first, you're gonna take that belt, you're gonna loop around the buckle, just like so you can have a little circle, all right? So this is that pull and tug that I was telling you about that helps if you have somebody kind of pushing down on your foot instead of me pulling down on this. You'll see what I'm talking about here in a minute. You have that protective reflex, remember, that that kind of helps you, pretty much saves yourself if you're in danger. So if somebody else is doing it for you, it's a little bit easier, or I guess better for your nervous system, if that makes sense. All right, so you're gonna take the loop, you're gonna loop it around your shoe. See if you can see my foot. All right. Okay, so some people, this is their maximum range. So the left leg, you can straighten it or you can bend it, whatever is more comfortable for you. But with that leg, it doesn't really matter, in my opinion. So some people, this is like their max range. So most of the time, if you have sciatic nerve, your hamstring is tight. So if this is your max position, that's fine. The pull and tug that I'm talking about looks like this. So I'm gonna pull toes to my nose, and then I'm gonna push like I'm pressing on the gas pedal. So pull, so I'm stretching the nerve here, and then I'm lengthening it. So trying to find any obstruction all along popliteal area, hamstring area, glutes area. And so if you have sciatic nerve, this stretch right here, this part is a little painful, okay? Like painful, not like muscle tight, but like pain tight. That makes sense. So pull and tug, pull and tug, pull and tug. So I would do about 10. And of course you're gonna do the other side for purposes of making this video short, which I thought it was gonna be, and now it's 18 minutes in, but it's okay. So I'm gonna do this way so you can see my leg, all right? Sort of. All right, this way. Okay, so I was doing here, so my foot is nice and straight, right? So now you're gonna kind of rotate it to the right a little bit, and I'm gonna do the same thing. So knee straight, pull and tug. Woo! I feel that one. Pull and tug, pull and tug, pull and tug, pull and tug. So remember, you know, our bodies are 3-dimensional, so your hamstrings actually has, let's see, 4 heads. Semimembranosus, semitendinosus, actually just 3 heads, sorry. Their quads has 4 heads. seventh tendinosis, semimembranosus, and bicep femoris. So we're gonna get all three of those. So we did the middle one with your foot, we're gonna do the side, and now we're gonna do the inside. So now my foot is, so if there's a clock there, it's at 10, right? See if you can see me. So I was here before, straight to the right, and now I'm gonna go to the left. And I'm gonna do the same thing. Pull and push, pull and push, pull and push, pull and push. So just like so. So what happens sometimes is, because you wanna lift that leg closer to you, you tend to bend that knee. So the stretch is not as effective if your knee is bent. So make sure that your knee is nice and straight on this one. So if this is your range here, that's fine. If this is your range, that's fine. Just make sure that that knee is straight. Okay. So that is sciatic nerve stretches. Thank you again for watching my videos. If you have any questions, any concerns, any suggestions on videos, let me know. Subscribe to my YouTube channel. I have 12, I think, or 13 subscribers now. So thank you so much for those who subscribed. And so I am taking any suggestions on topics, so let me know. And let's see, I think that's it. See you guys next time. Bye.